Today's recipe is a simplified and fresh eggplant parmesan, and everything is made on the grill, so it's got a nice level of smokiness, which is, I think, a nice addition. And there's no frying involved, so I think you're gonna like it. Start off by heating your grill, medium high. Cut 4 tomatoes in half. You're gonna make a grilled tomato sauce. Well, you're really just charring the tomatoes to give it a little bit of flavor and soften it slightly. So choose tomatoes that are nice and ripe, and 1 shallot. I'm gonna have that as well. Brush the tomatoes with a little bit of olive oil. It's at times like these that I really wish that we had an outside grill here, because this is so delicious grilled on a charcoal grill or a gas grill outside. Grill pans approximate grilling, but they're really not grilling. But I don't want to leave all the grilling recipes out just because I don't have a grill here. So you want your grill to be at a medium-high heat. Then you can just place your tomatoes cut side down on the grill to char just a little bit. You have to remember, when you're grilling on a grill pan, if it extends across 2 burners, it's going to be cooler in the part where it's not over a burner, so keep that in mind. The heat will sort of eventually go throughout the entire thing, but it's never going to be as hot as it is right directly over the flame of the stove. So if you want to move something to a cooler spot, for instance, you can move it towards the center. The shallots can go on as well. And you want to let those soften up a little bit and get a little bit charred. While I'm doing that, I'm going to cut up my eggplant. You'll probably want to do everything ahead of time so that you can take everything outside to the grill, but since I'm standing right here, I'm going to cut my eggplant into 1-inch planks. You want them thick enough that when you cook them down, they still have a little bit of substance. You usually get about, I would say, 3 or 4 slices out of each medium eggplant. And then you can brush the eggplant on both sides with oil. I think brushing eggplant works way better than drizzling because it's extremely absorbent. And if you drizzle the oil onto the eggplant, it's going to absorb right into the spot where it drizzles, and it's not going to be evenly oiled. So this is an instance where I highly recommend using a pastry brush for the most even coating. When the tomatoes are nice and charred and softened, you can remove them from the grill to a cutting board. I'm going to cut those up and make the sauce out of them, so they should cool off a little bit so you can cut them. You might want to scrape off your grill a little bit, and then you can add your eggplant to the grill. Might have to do it in batches if you're doing it inside. You can also roast this or broil it. Don't forget to season it. I did almost forget to season it. And then you want to cook until the eggplant are charred and fully tender, but not falling apart, because it's going to go a little while longer with some cheese. So this will take about 4 to 5 minutes per side. You have to be careful with eggplant that you don't grill it on too high of a heat, because it will burn on the outside and then the inside won't be cooked. So keep it on a medium-high heat. Don't go too much higher than that. While the eggplants are finishing up, you can chop up the ingredients for your sauce. You probably had plenty of time to cool off. You just chop everything kind of coarse, doesn't matter. I mean, you don't want huge chunks because you're making a sauce, so coarsely chop, let's say that. You obviously want to remove the stem of the tomato too. So I just cut around that usually. You want to have a bowl nearby so you can toss all your sauce ingredients together and season them and add some oil. So have a bowl on hand. And then just transfer the tomato mixture to your bowl. I just left the skin on. If you don't like the texture of the skin, you can take it out if you want to. Some people find it kind of stringy. I guess that's not really exactly the word, but you know what I mean. Season your tomato sauce with salt and pepper, and that's it. That's your sauce. Stir. This is a pound ball of lightly salted fresh mozzarella. You can use the low moisture if that's what you have access to. That's totally fine as well. I kind of like the way that cheese melt. So secretly at home, almost all the time when I'm using mozzarella, unless it's in a salad or something, I'm using the low moisture because I think it melts really nicely, but don't tell anybody. I'm supposed to be a cheese snob, but then you can place the cheese divided evenly between your eggplant planks. And then just to get it melted, you're gonna wanna cover your grill. Obviously we are inside, so I'm gonna use a sheet pan to cover mine. Cover, and just let the cheese melt. I'm gonna serve this with some ciabatta. I'm just gonna tear it. This is kind of big, so I'm gonna cut it in half first. It's rustic. You can do it however you want. If you wanna cut it in half and brush it with oil and grill it, you can do that, but it's kinda nice to use this sort of like rustic style tearing method. It sops up all the juices. It's really nice. And it looks cool, but maybe it's not for you. Maybe it offends your sensibilities. I don't know. Who knows? And cheese is melted, so you can take these guys off. I'm gonna put these right onto a platter. Put the bread here. Then get them off the grill. 4 amazing planks and 3 extras for the extra hungry. Spoon a little bit of sauce on top. You may have extra, that's cool. You can serve it on tomorrow night's grilled chicken parmesan. Top with a little bit of fresh basil if you like, and dinner is served. And really impressive, I think. I wish you guys were here to smell this. The basil smell is wafting up at me and it's pretty incredible. Give it a try. If you like recipes like this and you want more, make sure to click like and subscribe because we have plenty more where this came from.